Велика честь для мене. Дуже дякую. Для України, для нашого народу. Пані та панове сенатори,
Ladies and
пані та панове
gentlemen, deputies,
депутати, обранці Парижу,
councillors of Paris,
французькі народи.
French people,
Вдячен за честь
thank you
звернутися
for the honor of
до
speaking to
вас
you
сьогодні.
today.
Я впевнений, що
I am
ви
sure that you are well
добре
aware
знаєте, що
of what is
відбувається в
happening
Україні.
in
Ви
Ukraine.
знаєте,
You
чому
know
це
why this is
відбувається,
happening,
і знаєте,
and
хто
you
в
know
цьому
who
винен.
is to blame.
Навіть знають ті, хто ховає
Even
голову
those
у
who hid their
пісок
heads in the
і
sand
руками
know,
все ще
and whose
намагаються
hands are
намацати
still
гроші з
trying to
Росії.
get money
Тож
from
сьогодні я
Russia.
звертаюсь
So
до вас,
today,
до
I am
чесних,
addressing you,
до сміливих,
honest,
до
brave,
раціональних і
rational, and
свободолюбивих.
freedom-loving.
Звертаюсь
I am addressing you
із
with
запитаннями,
questions.
як зупинити
How
цю
to stop the
війну,
war,
як повернути мир
how to
в
return
нашу
peace
державу.
to
Бо
our
більша
state,
частина пазлів, з яких
because most of the
складається
puzzles
відповідь,
that make up the
саме
answer
у ваших руках,
are in your hands.
у наших руках. 9 березня
On March 9th,
російські
Russian bombs
авіабомби
were
були
dropped on a
скинуті
children's hospital
на дитячу
and
лікарню
a maternity
і пологовий
hospital in
будинок
our
у
city
нашому
of
місті
Mariupol.
Маріуполь. Це було
It
мирне
was a peaceful city
місто на
in the
півдні
south of
України.
Ukraine,
Абсолютно мирне,
absolutely
поки
peaceful,
до нього не
until
підійшли
Russian troops approached
російські війська і не взяли його
and
в
besieged it,
жорстоку облогу,
as in the
як
Middle
у
Ages,
середньовіччі. Поки вони не
until
почали
they
морити
began to
людей
torture people
голодом,
with
спрагою,
famine, thirst,
вбивати вогнем.
and kill them with
У
fire.
тому пологовому
There were people
будинку, на
in the
який
maternity
росіяни
hospital
скинули
on which
бомби,
the Russians dropped
прямо на
bombs.
нього були люди.
There
Були
were women
жінки,
in labor.
які готувались народжувати. Більшість з них
Most of them
вдалося врятувати.
were saved.
Деякі були
Some
серйозно
were
травмовані.
seriously
Одній
injured.
жінці довелось
One woman had to have her
ампутувати
foot
стопу,
amputated,
яка була повністю
as it was
роздроблена,
completely shattered.
а у іншої жінки у неї
And
був
another woman,
роздроблений таз,
she had a
і
shattered
дитина
pelvis.
загинула
Her child died
ще
before
до
birth.
народження. Жінку намагалися
Doctors
врятувати,
tried to save the
боролися за
woman,
її життя,
fought for
але
her
вона
life, but
благала
she begged the
лікарів про
doctors
смерть,
for her death.
благала полишити
She
її,
begged to leave her,
не надавати
not
їй
to help her,
допомогу, бо
because
не знала,
she didn't know what to live
для
for.
чого їй жити. Вони
They fought,
боролись,
she died.
вона померла. В Україні,
In
в
Ukraine,
Європі, у
in
2022
Europe,
році,
in
коли
2022,
сотні мільйонів людей
when hundreds
навіть
of
і
millions
думки
of
не
people
допускали, що так
could
може
not
бути,
even think
що може бути
that
так
it could be
зруйнований
so,
мир, я
that the
прошу
world
вас
could be so
зараз
ruined. I
вшанувати
ask you
хвилиною
now to honor
мовчання
the
пам'ять
memory
тисяч
of
українців,
thousands of
українок,
Ukrainian men
всіх
and
тих, хто
women,
був вбитий
all those who were
внаслідок
killed as
вторгнення
a result of
Росії
Russia's
на
invasion of
територію
the territory of our
нашої
peaceful
мирної
Ukraine,
України.
with a moment of silence.
Дякую. Після тижнів
After weeks of
російського
Russian
вторгнення
invasion,
Маріуполь та інші
Mariupol
українські
and
міста,
other
в які
Ukrainian
вдарили
cities hit by the
окупанти,
occupiers resemble
нагадують
the
руїни
ruins of Verdun,
Вердену. Як на тих
as in the
страшних
photos of the
фотографіях часів
First World
Першої
War,
світової війни, які, я впевнений,
which I'm
кожен
sure
і кожна
each and every one of
бачив.
you saw.
Російські
The
військові
Russian
не
militaries
розрізняють,
do not
по
care
яким об'єктам
which
бити,
targets
вони
they hit.
знищують все.
They destroy
Житлові
everything:
квартали, лікарні,
residential
школи,
neighborhoods,
університети,
hospitals, schools,
все.
universities,
Спалюють
warehouses
склади
with
з
food
їжею,
and
з
medicine are
медикаментами.
being burned.
Спалюють все.
They burn
Вони
everything.
не зважають
They
на
do
такі
not take into
поняття, як
account
воєнний
concepts
злочин
such as
та
war crime and
військові конвенції.
binding conventions.
Вони принесли
They brought
на
terror to
українську
Ukraine,
землю терор,
state terror.
державний терор.
Each and
Кожен
every
і
one of you
кожна із вас
is
це
aware of this.
усвідомлюють. Доступна вся
All
інформація,
information
всі
is
факти вони
available.
є.
All the facts are there
Про жінок, яких
about
російські
women
військові
raped by the
гвалтують
Russian
в
military
тимчасово
in the
окупованих
temporarily
районах.
occupied areas,
Про біженців,
about
яких вони
refugees
розстрілюють
shot
просто на
on the
дорогах.
roads,
Про журналістів,
about
яких вони
journalists
вбивають,
they kill,
точно
knowing for
знаючи,
sure
що це
that they are
журналісти.
journalists,
Про старих, які
about
пережили
old people
Голокост,
who
а тепер
survived the
змушені рятуватись
Holocaust
у
and are now
бомбосховищах
forced
від
to save
російських ударів
themselves from
по
Russian
мирних
attacks on
містах.
peaceful cities and bomb shelters.
Європа 80
For 80
років не
years,
бачила
Europe has not
того,
seen
що відбувається
the
зараз
things
в
that are
Україні
happening in Ukraine now
через дії Росії.
because
Коли
of
є
Russia's
люди
actions.
настільки у відчаї,
When there are
що
people so desperate that
благають
they beg
про
for
смерть,
death,
як
like
це.
this woman. In 2019, when I became president, there was already a format for negotiations with Russia. It was the Normandy format, the format of negotiations that were to end the war in Donbass, the war in eastern Ukraine, which has been going on for 8 years, unfortunately. 4 countries took part in the Normandy format: Ukraine, Russia, Germany, and France. 4, but through them, the whole world. All positions were represented. Someone supported, someone was trying to delay the process. Someone wanted to ruin everything, but it seemed important that the whole world was always present at that Normandy table, the table of peace. And when the negotiations yielded the result, when we managed to free people from captivity, when we were able to agree on some decisions in December 2019, it was like a breath of fresh air, like a glimmer of hope. Hope that talks with Russia can help, that the Russian leadership can be convinced in words so that Moscow chooses peace. But February 24th came, a day that ruined all those efforts, all of us, ruined the old meaning of the word dialogue, ruined the European experience of relations with Russia, ruined decades of European history. All this was bombed by Russian troops, destroyed by Russian artillery, burned after Russian missile strikes. The truth was not found in the offices, so now we have to look for it and gain it on the battlefield. So what now? What do we have left? Our values, unity, and the determination to defend our freedom. Common freedom, one for Paris and Kiev, for Berlin and Warsaw, for Madrid and Rome, for Brussels and Bratislava. Sips of fresh air will definitely not help anymore. It makes sense to act together, to put pressure together, to force Russia to seek peace. Ladies and gentlemen, French people, on February 24th, the Ukrainian people united. Today we have no right or left. We do not look at who is in power and who is in opposition. The usual policies ended on the day of Russia's invasion and will resume only when there is peace. And this is right, to fight for life, to protect our state. We are grateful to you. We are grateful that France helps. We are grateful for the efforts of President Macron, who showed true leadership. We are constantly communicating with him. It is true. We are coordinating some of our steps. Ukrainians see that France values freedom as much as they always have, and you protect it. You remember what it is: freedom, equality, brotherhood. Each of these words is full of power for you. I feel it. Ukrainians feel it. That is why we expect from you, we expect from France, from your leadership, that you will be able to make Russia seek peace, to make it end this war against freedom, against equality, against brotherhood, against everything that made Europe united and full of free, diverse life. We expect from France, from your leadership, that Ukraine's territorial integrity will be restored, and together we can do it. If among the attendees there are those who doubt it, your people are already sure, like other nations of Europe, and that during France's presidency in the European Union, the long overdue historical decision will be made on Ukraine's full membership in Europe and the EU, a historical decision in a historical time, as has always been the case in the history of the French people. Ladies and gentlemen, French people, Tomorrow will be a month since Ukrainians have been fighting for their own lives, for their own freedom, since our army has been heroically opposing the overwhelming forces of Russia. We need more help. We need more support. In order for freedom not to lose, it must be well armed. Tanks and anti-tank weapons, aviation and air defense. We need all of this. You can help us. I know you can. In order for freedom not to lose, the world must support it with sanctions against the aggressor. A new sanctions package every week. Every week, French companies must leave the Russian market. Renault, Auchan, Leroy Merlin, and others. They must cease to be sponsors of Russia's military machine, sponsors of the killing of women and children, sponsors of rape, robbery, and looting by the Russian army. All companies must remember, once and for all, that values are worth more than profit, especially profit on blood. And we must already think about the future, about how we will live after this war. Guarantees are needed. Strong guarantees. Guarantees that security will be unshakable, that there will be no war, and that war in general will be impossible. We are creating such a system of guarantees, a new security system, in which France, I believe, will play a leading role, so that no one will ever have to beg for death again, so that people live their life, full life, and so that we say goodbye to people not under bombs, not in war, but when the time comes, only in peace, only in dignity, because you have to live so that you are respected, so that you are remembered, and so that people say goodbye to you in a way France said goodbye to the great Belmondo. Thank you, France. Glory to Ukraine.